thank you everyone for joining us for the presentation today. I'll start by briefly introducing myself if you haven't met me. I'm Kathryn. I'm the Partnerships and Development Manager at PEPI.
And Award is the Executive Director of the PEPI. Thank you.
Yes. And for our team, mental health is really important to us, and it's part of our discussions during our monthly meetings and part of our programming. And we wanted to bring it today and bring it to a discussion as a group to see how we can best integrate mental health into our organizations and some of the practices that we've implemented at PEPI thus far. So the basis of our presentation is first just having a discussion on what is mental health and how we define mental health, because there's scientific perspective and then also perspective of how we view it in different cultures and different backgrounds as well. Why it's important to us, especially now, coming out of our experiences with COVID, mental health has become even more important for our organization. And so we want to discuss with others on why it's important. And we want to highlight what changes we made as an organization to support mental health and overall changes that we can implement in a different organization's culture to be supportive to mental health practices. And then we also want to raise what are some external resources that we have. Oh, good morning, thank you. Yeah, what are some external resources that we have? And some exercises that we have learned and implemented at our office for better mental health and well-being. And then Bangwa would like to close the session with a group exercise for supporting your mental health. So what is mental health? We can start by considering the general definition. Textbook definition is mental health is our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. So mental health is how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It translates to our everyday behavior. It determines how we can handle stressful situations, how we can handle relationships in our lives, and how we make decisions both in our personal lives and professionally. So you might be familiar with some common mental health disorders. These are the ones that when I hear it, I think, oh, I think I know what this means, but this presentation gave me an opportunity to do a lot more research on different types of mental health. So the ones that I found were the most common and most applicable to workplace challenges were anxiety and depression, one's OCD, paranoia, and I actually didn't know this until doing research for this presentation, but eating disorders is also considered a mental health issue. So does anybody need clarification on what these disorders are?
Kathryn, at the beginning of the meeting, when we were just chit-chatting and perhaps before you joined, there was some request that some translation might be necessary. So if so, we're open to a little bit of Khmer just to explain anything that needs it. However, for the most part, it's an English presentation.
Sounds good. Bangwa, would you be able to come in and just translate the slide or summarize the slide for them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In Khmer?
Yes.
Like, I'm not good in translator, you know. So I will try my best. Like here, like mental. You want me to say in all Khmer?
Yeah, just summarize what is mental health in Khmer, and then summarize these disorders if there is a Khmer name.
Okay. បើតាមការយល់ហើយតាមការខ្ញុំស្រាវជ្រាវហើយបទពិសោធន៍របស់ខ្ញុំផ្ទាល់ណាខ្ញុំគិតថាសម្រាប់គេហៅសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តនៅក្នុងហ្នឹងវារួមបញ្ចូលមានច្រើនវាមានទាំងពីផ្លូវអារម្មណ៍ឬក៏ហៅថាស្មារតីអ្នកខ្លះហៅថាអារម្មណ៍ឬក៏ស្មារតីហើយវាពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹងផ្លូវចិត្តរបស់យើងហើយពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹងសង្គមដែរអញ្ចឹងវាអាចមាន3បើនិយាយទៅតើតើ mental health វាមានស្មារតីវាមានអាចផ្លូវចិត្តហើយនឹងបែបសង្គមហើយសួរថាតើវានឹងប៉ះពាល់មិនមកលើផ្លូវចិត្តរបស់យើងណាបើនិយាយពីសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តគឺអញ្ចឹងហើយនៅក្នុងនឹងដែរគេថាវា affect មិននៅក្នុងអីដែលតាមរយៈការស្រាវជ្រាវរបស់ Kathryn ដែលគាត់ធ្វើហើយខ្ញុំឯងក៏ស្រាវជ្រាវខ្លួនឯងនៅក្នុងនោះគឺគេសំដៅទៅលើ ឲ្យយើងនឹងអាចមានសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តដ៏រឹងមាំដើម្បីឲ្យយើងនឹង handle អាចឲ្យយើងនឹងទប់ទល់ចាអាចឲ្យយើងនឹងទប់ទល់ជាមួយនឹងការដែលមានជំងឺអាចបាក់ទឹកចិត្តឬក៏អាចមានទំនាក់ទំនងផ្ទៃក្នុងរបស់យើងខ្លួនឯងឬក៏អាចទំនាក់និយាយទៅទំនាក់ទំនងមួយខាងក្រៅអីចឹងណាបងសុផលស្រីខ្ញុំនិយាយខ្មែរទៅខ្វះកន្លែងណាអីបងអាចជួយបន្ថែមបើខ្ញុំអត់បកកែបកប្រែទេហើយពេលណាដែលយើងមានសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តហ្នឹងវាអាចរឹងមាំហ្នឹងវាធ្វើឲ្យយើងនឹងអាចងាយនៅក្នុងការធ្វើការសម្រេចចិត្តព្រោះនៅពេលណាដែលយើងអត់សូវមានសុខភាពរឹងមាំបញ្ញាយើងធ្លាក់ចុះអញ្ចឹងវាអាចប៉ះពាល់ទៅដល់ការសម្រេចចិត្តរបស់យើងដែរនៅពេលខ្លះអញ្ចឹងចាស់ហើយនៅក្នុងហ្នឹងអ្វីដែលគេនិយាយអំពីជំងឺបាក់ទឹកចិត្តសុំទោសជំងឺផ្លូវចិត្តភាគច្រើនអាចកើតមានហ្នឹងខ្ញុំអត់ដឹងខ្មែរហៅអីទេ anxiety ហ្នឹងតែគ្រាន់តែដឹងថាជំងឺហ្នឹងវាធ្វើឲ្យយើងដូចយើងឆាប់ភ័យយើងខ្លាចយើងអីចឹងណាបាទ depression យើងហៅខ្មែរយើងថាជំងឺបាក់ទឹកចិត្តហើយwhat is that can you move
Oh yes, sorry. Yeah. Our faces are in the way.
Okay. សម្រាប់ ODC ហ្នឹងមានន័យថាពេលខ្លះទៅវាធ្វើឲ្យខួរក្បាលរបស់យើងហ្នឹងវាខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ឮហ្នឹងប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំអត់ដឹងថាភាសាគ្រូពេទ្យគេហៅថាម៉េចទេណាតែអាហ្នឹងមានន័យថាដូចខាងក្នុងយើងឆ្លុះគ្នានិយាយទៅមានន័យខាងក្នុងរបស់យើងវាមានអីមួយដែលវាអត់ត្រូវគ្នាចាអាហ្នឹងខ្ញុំអត់ដឹងថាខ្មែរហៅអីសុំទោសផងអានេះក៏ខ្ញុំអត់ដឹងខ្មែរហៅអីដែរ paranoia ហ្នឹងហើយ eating disorder ហ្នឹងខ្ញុំក៏អត់ដឹងថាខ្មែរហៅអីដែរខ្ញុំសុំទោសផងចាប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំអាចយល់ពេលដែលខ្ញុំស្រាវជ្រាវព្រោះស្រាវជ្រាវជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសចាអរគុណអានឹងដូចរបៀបយើងអាសាក់ដូចថាយើងស្លន់ស្លោមានរឿងអីកាត់ឡើងបន្តិចបន្តួចយើងភ្ញាក់យើងស្លន់ស្លោអញ្ចឹងណាវាហ្នឹងហើយ disorder នោះប្រហែលជាគ្នាយើងអាចធ្លាប់ឃើញអ្នកខ្លះគាត់ញ៉ាំមិនក៏អត់ធាត់ដែរហើយអ្នកខ្លះទៀតញ៉ាំបន្តិចអីអញ្ចឹងក៏គាត់ធាត់អញ្ចឹងណាហើយអ្នកខ្លះទៀតជួនកាលចិត្តគាត់បើយើងនិយាយពីOCD ហ្នឹងណាមានករណីខ្លះអ្នកជំងឺហ្នឹងគឺគាត់របៀបថាគាត់គិតថាគាត់ហ្នឹងញ៉ាំអីសុខភាពល្អអីអញ្ចឹងឯងញ៉ាំរបស់អីពេលដែលនៅមុខគេគាត់ធ្វើអញ្ចឹងប៉ុន្តែគាត់ចេះតែលួចញ៉ាំ junk food អីអញ្ចឹងណាដូចថាចិត្តយើងទីមួយចង់សុខភាពល្អទីពីរទៀតអាមាត់យើងហ្នឹងចិត្តតែចង់អីផ្សេងឬក៏អីអញ្ចឹងវាដូចថាប្រឆាំងគ្នាយើងក្នុងចិត្តអញ្ចឹងណាចាហើយទៅហ្នឹងពេលខ្លះអ្នកខ្លះឃ្លានរហូតអ្នកខ្លះអត់សូវឃ្លានអីអញ្ចឹងវាតាមអ្នកជំងឺផ្សេងគ្នាអញ្ចឹងចាដូចខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍ខ្លួនឯងមួយeating disorder ហ្នឹងកាលពេលខ្ញុំនៅរៀងក្មេងពេលដែលខ្ញុំមានជំងឺផ្លូវចិត្តដូចខៅបាក់ទឹកចិត្តណាឬក៏ stress ហ្នឹងគឺខ្ញុំញ៉ាំច្រើនមែនតើរហូតដល់ខ្ញុំទិញរបស់ញ៉ាំយកមកស្តុកទុកហ្មងហើយពេលដែលខ្ញុំនេះខ្ញុំខុបវាខ្ញុំធ្វើវាចឹងទៅច្រើនខ្ញុំញ៉ាំគិតពីញ៉ាំអញ្ចឹងណាអាហ្នឹងឯងចាអរគុណច្រើនបងបានជួយបន្ថែម
Yeah. Oh, I see there's a chat.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much for the Google translation. That's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with Ross's comment about the eating disorder. I was really surprised as well because it's not something I think about often when I compare to mental health, but I realized that I was like, yes, eating disorder is a problem about a negative perception of yourself and is often linked to anxiety, depression, and a lot of other mental health issues that lead to negative behaviors and negative relationships with food. And eating disorders, I think many of us think when we hear that, we think people, but that's not eating enough. But also there's eating disorders of people overeating, eating too much as well. So it's unhealthy relationships with food that cause a negative impact to your body. But that issue starts from your brain. It starts from your self-esteem. It starts from poor like habits and behavior that have emerged from negative experiences in your life that translate to physical challenges, which kind of connects to our next slide, which is that mental health is also a huge contributor in physical health. I think I go backwards.
No.
The internet doesn't like me. 1 second, I'll get it back on the right direction. So mental health and its impact on our daily lives. Do you want to translate as I go or would like me to?
You can go and then
Okay.
slow.
We may not have time to translate every single word, so I think in the interest of time management, we should think in terms of half an hour or a little longer,
Yes.
of course, with translation for this presentation.
For sure. Yeah, so I'll summarize it briefly. So mental health and effects on our daily lives. The most important takeaway from the statement is that your mind and body are actually connected. They work together. So when you have challenges with your mental health, it also impacts your physical health. So there's so much research and so much information that shows that people who have serious physical health conditions are also connected and linked to mental health challenges as well. So for example, depression can come with other issues like headache, stomach problems. Anxiety can create stomach issues as well. Other symptoms, mental health challenges can affect your sleep, can affect your energy, can affect your ability to focus.
Vậy đó ការស្រាវជ្រាវបានរកឃើញថាចិត្តហើយនឹងកាយយើងគឺមានការផ្សារភ្ជាប់គ្នាបើខ្ញុំធ្លាប់រៀនបទពិសោធន៍ខ្ញុំគឺនិយាយដល់3ចិត្តកាយនិងស្មារតីអញ្ចឹងវានៅជាប់គ្នាបើសិនជាមានមួយណាធ្លាក់ចុះអាពីរហ្នឹងវានឹងធ្លាក់ចុះដែរអញ្ចឹងបើសិនជាសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តយើងអត់រឹងមាំទេវានឹងបង្កើតទៅជាជំងឺផ្លូវកាយមួយចំនួនឧទាហរណ៍ដូចជាពេលដែលយើងផ្លូវចិត្តយើងអត់សុបាយអត់អីអាចធ្វើយើងអស់កម្លាំងអាចធ្វើយើងហត់ឬអាចធ្វើយើងឈឺក្បាលឬអាចធ្វើយើងមានអីផ្សេងទៀតចឹងណាចាហ្នឹងហើយខ្ញុំសូមកាត់សង្ខេបសូមទៅអរគុណ
So why do we think this matters in the workplace? So summarize it. I'll try to summarize as quickly as I can. So if you don't have a strong mental health, it can factor in, as we already mentioned, to physical challenges. So it can affect to overall larger health issues like heart problems, digestive problems like diabetes. Mental health issues impact your business directly because it can affect your ability to come to work. People with mental health issues might need more days off, are unable to work every day. They might not be able to be as productive as compared to other team members. And there can be increase in costs for a business to have to address these issues. You might have to bring on more people. You might have to bring on more staff because an employee cannot meet their quota. And also if somebody is feeling negative and in a bad place, it can affect other team members' energy as well. And so work-related stress can translate to your organization on high staff turnover. People might be quitting quickly. You might be having to spend a lot of time training new people because you're not able to maintain staff due to their mental health challenges. They can have poor performance in the organization. Sorry about that. I can't get rid of this there. Okay, yes. So they might not be able to concentrate on their work well. They might have higher instances of making mistakes and human error because they're not able to focus on their work.
អញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំសង្ខេបខ្ញុំអត់សូវចង់ចាំបានច្រើនតែគ្រាន់តែថាសួរថានៅពេលដែលមានបញ្ហាសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តហ្នឹងហេតុតែបានវាប៉ះពាល់ទៅដល់ការធ្វើការងារអញ្ចឹងទោះបីជាយើងជាបុគ្គលក៏ដោយជាបុគ្គលគេហៅថាឯកជនបុគ្គលបើសិនជាយើងមានសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តហ្នឹងអត់សូវល្អទេវាអាចប៉ះពាល់ច្រើនទៅដល់បង្កើតទៅជាជំងឺផ្នែករាងកាយដែលខ្ញុំនិយាយមិញហ្នឹងអាចទៅជាឈឺក្បាលឬក៏យើងការរំលាយអាហារហ្នឹងវាយ៉ាងពិបាកអញ្ចឹងអាហ្នឹងវាប៉ះពាល់ហើយវាធ្វើឲ្យប៉ះពាល់ទៅដល់ការធ្វើការបើយើងមានការងារយើងប៉ះពាល់ដល់ការងារបើយើងធ្វើអាជីវកម្មក៏យើងប៉ះពាល់ទៅដល់អាជីវកម្មអញ្ចឹងចាហើយពេលដែលយើងមានសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តអត់សូវល្អហ្នឹងវាធ្វើឲ្យមានប៉ះពាល់ដល់គុណភាពការងារឬក៏ទំនាក់ទំនងជាមួយនឹងខ្លួនយើងខ្លួនឯងហើយនឹងទំនាក់ទំនងមួយក្រុមការងារឬក៏ដៃគូឯផ្សេងអាហ្នឹងក៏ធ្វើមានបញ្ហាដែរហើយតកតងទៅនឹងការដែលយើងធ្វើកិច្ចការងារផ្លូវចិត្តអត់សូវល្អវាធ្វើឲ្យយើងមានសម្ពាធវាធ្វើឲ្យយើងមានអារម្មណ៍តានតឹងវាអាចធ្វើឲ្យផលិតខ្លួនឯងហ្នឹងគាត់នឹងអាចស្នើសុំឈប់សម្រាកច្រើនឬគាត់អាចរហូតទៅដល់សុំចាក់ចេញពីការងារឬក៏ការ perform ការងាររបស់គាត់នឹងវាអត់សូវល្អឬក៏គេហៅថាអាការធ្វើការងាររបស់គាត់ទៅមានកំហុសច្រើនការបង្កើតកំហុសច្រើនអញ្ចឹងហ្នឹងគឺជាបញ្ហានៅកន្លែងធ្វើការចាហើយខ្ញុំអាចចែកពីបទពិសោធន៍ខ្ញុំផ្ទាល់ខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ចាំកណ្ដឹងខ្ញុំមានជំងឺបាក់ទឹកចិត្តខ្លាំងមែនទែនក្រោយពេលសម្រាលដល់ពេលអញ្ចឹងទៅ nhung perform nơi cái lạnh càng nghe nhung prăng prai mình tên nhung trên bị office mà bỏ để bên make sure là càng nghe bằng đó và đã bằng vậy tớiពេលnó cứ tha bà càng nghe dân thời thôi còn làm máu về ai ta đo mà mạo người chá chắc là nó bị chụp bằng nhà là ao con.
And for these reasons and many more, we believe it's important to invest in mental health to ensure the productivity and well-being of our team. And so this is just an interesting data point that I thought was good to add to the conversation. So they've done studies on how depression impacts your ability to work. So it actually, they've estimated 20% of the time, it reduces your ability to do physical tasks. And for your cognitive, your ability to process and think, it impacts your work 35% of the time.
Ngày chắc là tao là ca sai chưa nó rồi khơi tham một sinh dân sợ việc lấy cho sâu lo tới việc thưa ai cái tham một bên này ca lệ cho riêng cái dân là một đồng một thầy bị rồi hay tham một bên này ca kịch bao dân nó việc lệ cho tao đó 35% rồi chẳng chán.
And so why do we think it's important to focus on it now, especially? Quick summary, in COVID, it would be rare if COVID did not have an impact on your mental health. It would be quite surprising. Yeah, all of our routines were impacted and changed the way that we regularly manage and maintain our well-being physically and mentally. It impacted our exercising, meditation habits, eating well, getting enough sleep, all of those things were affected. And of course, the additional stress of people's lives being at risk. It changed the way we perceive our everyday life and changed what is important to us. We found around the world, many people left their jobs or wanted to change their lifestyle as a result. Also, for a long time, many of us were limited to socializing online and holding so many meetings online. And our team members also shared with us often how much it drained them to be on Zoom and Google Meets all day and negatively impacted to their energy. And our team members felt like they were working 2 times as long, but within the same hours. So working from home made activities drag on, and they reported not feeling as accomplished in their work. And then also now that we're coming out of COVID, we are working on recovering from those experiences and recovering from social isolation. When we spend so much time working alone, we forget how to interact with others. We forget how to feel confident around others again. I can share, especially for myself coming back into the office, I felt, oh, I don't know how to talk to anyone anymore. I don't remember how to have friends. So it was definitely a challenge that we're still working on rebuilding and helping us feel well and confident every day.
Chắc là tạm tôn năng tha lời hai đây mình dân thử bắt đầu từ lời riêng sau khi lời chấn là xa dân mơ khơi tha chỉ bắt phải sao nó happy nó cứ nó không cầm lòng bê covid ca nghe để dân thử phơi nó viên nó đồng nã cả phần đá còn là tha vì thử miền ca plak prai từ lời đặc biệt này ca phơi ca chẳng đặc biệt này ca ruộng nơi đặc biệt ấy chẳng xem xấy nhá tăng bị ca sập bạc tăng ấy nó hay thiện chán về đại nơi non sạch than đặc biệt nắng chỉ tu tới dân khơi tham mà tập trong ca nghe happy tiêu nên mình nước trái nó đã quạt luôn nơi nước non cái hai tha hai này phầy chắc áp lôi chật bọc quạt nắng riêng ấp sơ lọ để chẳng á chắc ai thưa ai ca plak đô nó có nằm lại bao mình nuôi có thiệp sầm khăn bao mình nuôi ấy nắng cứ ai miền thiệp khóc nè đá hai thiệp trái là ai rồi hô đo nè khác còn miền sầm biệt thao quạt thử trong lê cho bị cả nghe trong đồ ca nghe bị lại đi được lại nung ở trong tờ trà hay được không nó đá ở bên là mình than phiêu covid thì dân đang xẻ bay tha cái lockdown cái chân tới cái ao dân tới chụp kia nó kháng cài nó ấy chẳng hết nát trà cho phía trái meeting là cả láng cứ riêng trong chị gặp bài ở online ở chị in person để chẳng vừa ao dân nó pra zoom dân pra dây tràn hay cái này dân nơi coi một computer tràn dân đang hay có việc bắt qua đó tăng sập phiệt tăng lời cài tăng lời anh tăng online hay bây giờ dân interact mà mình được việc tràn việc vừa ai dân bây nó còn lòng bây nó dân click kết hà ô dân miền mật hẹ rồi dân miền nhẹ thơ ca như mỗi khi dân quay thơ ca tầm này ai dân ấy chắc trong mặt resort Kathryn to còn vậy tha bây giờ nó không lòng covid nó có thơ ca tầm này ai được ta nơi anh chẳng tới តែពេលត្រឡប់មកពេលដែល COVID ធូរស្រាលវិញត្រឡប់មកធ្វើការនៅក្នុងការិយាល័យគាត់មានអារម្មណ៍ថាគាត់ដូចបាត់ទំនុកចិត្តឬគាត់មានអារម្មណ៍ថាគាត់អត់ដឹងថាចាប់ផ្ដើមតំណែងមួយអ្នកផ្សេងវិញមិនអីចឹងណាចាចាអរគុណ
So in our office specifically, these are the changes we made to better support mental health. So from focusing on strictly the mental side is encouraging our team members to take time off. So for us, it's not just about if you are very ill or have COVID. If you do not feel well within yourself to work, we want you to have that time to rest so you come back feeling refreshed, not just physically, but mentally. So mental health days are a key part of our organization. We also make sure to implement regular meetings with our HR. So that way people feel very open and have opportunities to share any challenges that they are facing privately and securely and work on constructive ways to help improve those issues so that they're able to focus on work. We also provide regular referrals to counselors to the programs we partner with. Socially, when we know that we need to have online meetings, we work on adding games into those meetings. So when we have team meetings and activities, we include fun, physically engaging and mentally engaging activities for us to feel connected with each other. And we also continue to allow team members to work from home when they want, and make small working groups in the office during COVID so that people could continue socializing with each other when they needed it, but in a safe way. Physically, we provide yoga sessions to our team members, and we've recently implemented that program as well, so that our staff members can feel refreshed and focus on building their physical and mental energy. We have inclusive sports programming that involves not just our students, but our staff as well, to work on their physical health. And we regularly encourage and support meditation practices and programs in our office.
ចឹងនិយាយទៅនេះគឺជាអីដែលបទពិសោធន៍របស់ Happy យើងបានធ្វើតាក់ទងទៅនឹងការថែទាំសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តហ្នឹងយើងលើកទឹកចិត្តក្រុមការងារយើងដូចថាបើគាត់ធ្វើការងារច្រើនម៉ោងអញ្ចឹងឬគាត់ធ្វើការនៅពេល weekend ឬក៏អីចឹងគាត់អាច take compensation ឬគាត់អាចឈប់សម្រាកនៅពេលណាដែលគាត់ត្រូវការឈប់សម្រាកឬគាត់ឈឺគាត់ស្រួលខ្លួនអញ្ចឹងយើងអត់ឲ្យគាត់ធ្វើការតែគាត់មានអារម្មណ៍អត់សូវល្អឬអីអញ្ចឹងគាត់អាច take សម្រាកចឹងបានហើយនៅក្នុងនោះដែរយើងមាន HR manager នៅទីនេះអញ្ចឹង HR manager ដើរតួយ៉ាងសំខាន់អញ្ចឹងភាគច្រើនក្រុមការងារគាត់មានបញ្ហាអីគាត់អាចទៅជែកជាមួយនឹងក្រុមការងារ HR ហ្នឹងឯងអញ្ចឹងក្រុម HR គាត់នឹងជួយដោះស្រាយនៅបញ្ហារបស់ក្រុមការងារថាត្រូវរកដំណោះស្រាយយ៉ាងម៉េចចេញណាចាហើយទី3តកតងទៅនឹងអាហ្នឹងយើងធ្វើមិនត្រឹមតែផ្ដល់ counseling ហ្នឹងទៅដល់កូនសិស្សទេសូម្បីតែក្រុមការងាររបស់យើងក៏យើងធ្វើដែរនៅពេលណាដូចខ្ញុំជា ED អញ្ចឹង manager ណាមួយគាត់មានបញ្ហាគាត់ត្រូវការ support យ៉ាងម៉េចចឹងខ្ញុំជួយគាត់អញ្ចឹងទៅចាហើយនៅក្នុង social ពេលច្រើនយើងចាំបានបទពិសោធន៍ពេលនៅក្នុង COVID របស់យើងណាអញ្ចឹងយើងមានបញ្ចូលgame មានបញ្ចូលអីនៅក្នុង meeting ហ្នឹងសូម្បីក្នុងថ្នាក់រៀនរបស់កូនសិស្សយើងក៏យើងធ្វើបែបហ្នឹងដែរអញ្ចឹងយើងអនុវត្តទាំងក្រុមការងារទាំងកូនសិស្សហើយពេលខ្លះទៀតយើងចាំបាននៅក្នុងដំណាក់កាលមួយដែលយើងអាចត្រឡប់មក office បានណាអញ្ចឹងយើងបែងចែកថ្ងៃដូចថាខ្ញុំមកថ្ងៃច័ន្ទអ្នកណាមកថ្ងៃណាអញ្ចឹងទៅដល់ក្រុមតូចយើងអាចនៅតែធ្វើការងារតំណែងមួយគ្នាបានអញ្ចឹងទៅចាហើយសម្រាប់ផ្នែកសុខភាពរាងកាយវិញគឺយើងមានយើងបានមានការសហការជាមួយដៃគូរបស់យើងហើយគាត់ធ្វើ yoga class ទៅដល់បុគ្គលិករបស់យើងហើយនៅក្នុងនោះprogram របស់យើងមានធ្វើគេហៅថា sport program អ្នកកូនសិស្សតែយុវជនក្រុមការងារយើងក៏គាត់មានបែបហ្នឹងដែរហើយយើងលើកទឹកចិត្តឲ្យក្រុមការងារយើងមានធ្វើការសមាធិហើយជាពិសេសខ្ញុំហ្នឹងហើយខ្ញុំ take អាហ្នឹងខ្លួនឯងខ្ញុំរកឃើញថាមកព្រឹក5នាទីយប់មុនចូលគេ5នាទីវាជួយខ្ញុំច្រើននៅក្នុងរយៈពេលមួយដែលខ្ញុំអត់បានអនុវត្តវាខ្ញុំ lost ខ្លាំងមែនតើចាអរគុណច្រើន
So overall, the recommendations from our lessons learned that we would share with other organizations is allow for time off without pressing why. I think often in our office previously, our team members always shared exactly why they're taking time off because they felt they needed to justify it to us. But they really don't have to. If people want to take a day off for time with their family or time to focus on themselves, it's okay. It's not our business. Allow them to take time off. Provide spaces for people to give feedback anonymously or seek help anonymously. It should not be a place where they feel ashamed or that they have to share with everyone that they're facing mental health challenges. There should be clear mechanisms in place at your organization for them to seek help on their own. We also recommend giving counselor training to staff, especially if you have HR staff or programmatic staff that obtain feedback, so that they know how to listen actively and listen effectively to help the person sharing their challenges with them. We also encourage leaders in the organization to speak up about mental health and encourage counseling and prioritizing mental health and well-being during meetings and wellness check-ins. We also encourage the organization to maintain health at every aspect and work to actively normalize mental health practices to be just as necessary as physical exercise.
ចាអញ្ចឹងនេះគឺជាអីដែលយើងចង់ធ្វើការចែករំលែកជាមួយនឹងអ្នកនរគ្នាឲ្យជាគំនិតយោបល់មួយចំនួនភាគច្រើននៅ happy របស់យើងហ្នឹងគឺថាបើសិនជាអ្នកណាចង់ឈប់សម្រាកអីគាត់អាចឈប់សម្រាកយើងអត់មានសួរនាំគាត់អីច្រើនទេតែសួរថាយើងអត់សួរនាំគាត់ហ្នឹងដោយសារអីលក្ខណៈពិសេសមួយរបស់ក្រុមការងារ happy ដែលខ្ញុំធ្វើការងារជាមួយខ្ញុំចូលចិត្តខ្លាំងហ្នឹងគឺថាពួកគាត់មានអារម្មណ៍មួយមានការទទួលខុសត្រូវទៅលើកិច្ចការងាររបស់គាត់អញ្ចឹងគាត់ដឹងថាកិច្ចការងារត្រូវធ្វើឲ្យចប់នៅពេលណាអញ្ចឹងនៅពេលណាដែលគាត់ដឹងថាការងារគាត់នឹងចប់ហើយតែបើសិនជាគាត់ធ្វើអត់ចប់តែគាត់ចង់ឈប់សម្រាកអីក៏គាត់ចេះទៅចែកមួយក្រុមការងារអ្នកណាទទួលការងារនឹងបន្តឬក៏យ៉ាងម៉េចអីចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងរបៀបហ្នឹងដែលធ្វើឲ្យយើងម្នាក់ជឿទុកចិត្តទៅលើគ្នាហើយពេលដែលពួកគាត់ចង់ឈប់សម្រាកយើងអត់មានសួរនាំគាត់ច្រើនទេហើយតកតងទៅទី2នៅ happy គឺយើង open យើងអាចឲ្យអ្នកណាក៏ដោយសូម្បីខ្ញុំជា ED ខ្ញុំតែប្រាប់ក្រុមការងារថាខ្ញុំមិនមែនជា executive director ទេខ្ញុំគ្រាន់តែជាអ្នកដែល support ខ្ញុំមក support អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាហើយអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាអាចមានគំនិតយោបល់ក្នុងការអប់រំមានន័យថាបដៅខ្ញុំបានខ្ញុំនិយាយពីអាម៉ាត់ថាខ្ញុំដាក់ខ្លួនឲ្យអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាបដៅទោះបីខ្ញុំក្នុងទូនាទីអីក៏ដោយតែខ្ញុំគឺជាមនុស្សខ្ញុំប្រកាសជាអាចមានបង្កើតកំហុសអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំបង្កើតនៅបរិយាកាសមួយក្រុមការងារនៅទីនេះយើងមាន value រួមមួយគឺថាសូមផ្ដល់នៅព័ត៌មានត្រឡប់បើសិនជាមើលឃើញនៅកំហុសរបស់ខ្ញុំឬកំហុសរបស់អ្នកណាហើយយើងជជែកគ្នាយើងបាក់ចិត្តទទួលយកព័ត៌មានត្រឡប់ហ្នឹងយើងយកមកកែសម្រួលបើសិនជាយើងពិចារណាថាអូអាហ្នឹងខ្ញុំត្រូវកែហើយយើងមានអារម្មណ៍ថាយើងអត់មានអារម្មណ៍ខ្មាស់អៀនឬក៏អូមិនបានគេថាយើងអត់មានអារម្មណ៍បែបហ្នឹងទេតែខ្ញុំសូម្បីតែក្រុមការងារគាត់ប្រាប់ក្នុងទូរទស្សន៍ខ្ញុំថាអូបងគឺចេះចុះខ្ញុំសប្បាយអញ្ចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងយើងអត់តែមានអារម្មណ៍មួយអត់សប្បាយទេចាហើយតកតងទៅនឹងក្រុមការងារយើងលើកទឹកចិត្តឲ្យគាត់ទៅរកវគ្គtraining តកតងទៅនឹងការប្រឹក្សាយោបល់ដោយការប្រមាណខែមុនចន្ទនាសវឹងឬក៏ក្រុមយើងណាផ្សេងហ្នឹងគាត់បាន take course ហ្នឹងហើយគាត់បានធ្វើការគម្រោងចែករំលែកមួយក្រុមការងារដែរហើយមានដូចខ្ញុំនឹងស្រីពៅយើងបានទៅចូលរួមវគ្គ coaching យើងមាន plan ថានឹងចែកបទពិសោធន៍ហ្នឹងទៅដល់ក្រុមការងារយើងផ្សេងទៀតដើម្បីឲ្យឧទាហរណ៍ដូចខ្ញុំជា ED ខ្ញុំនឹងអាចcoach គ្រប់គ្រងទៅដល់ manager គាត់គ្រប់គ្រងទៅដល់ officer និងគ្រប់គ្រងទៅដល់កូនសិស្សអញ្ចឹងនេះគឺជា culture នៅក្នុង happy របស់យើងដែលយើងធ្វើហើយយើងគិតថានឹងគឺជាអីដែលយើងស្រឡាញ់ចូលចិត្តហើយមើលឃើញថាវាមានប្រសិទ្ធភាពមែនតើហើយកូនសិស្សរបស់យើងភាគច្រើនពេលគាត់មានបញ្ហាគាត់មានទំនុកចិត្តនៅក្នុងការជជែកមួយក្រុមការងាររបស់យើងខ្លាំងមែនតើចា៎ហើយនៅក្នុងនេះដែរយើងលើកទឹកចិត្តឲ្យអ្នកដឹកនាំនៅក្នុងក្រុមស្ថាប័នដឹកនាំស្ថាប័ននេះឲ្យនិយាយអំពីរឿងថែរក្សាសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តនឹងឲ្យខ្លាំងលើកទឹកចិត្តក្រុមការងារឲ្យទៅរកការប្រឹក្សាយោបល់ឬក៏ដាក់ធ្វើម៉េច priority គេហៅថាចាត់អាទិភាពថាថែទាំសុខភាពផ្លូវចិត្តគឺជារឿងសំខាន់អញ្ចឹងណាចាហើយយើងលើកទឹកចិត្តឲ្យក្រុមការងារនៅក្នុងស្ថាប័នហ្នឹងគាត់យល់ថាអាសុខភាពហ្នឹងវាត្រូវថែទាំវាដើម្បីឲ្យយើងហ្នឹងអាចធ្វើឲ្យការអនុវត្តការងាររបស់យើងហ្នឹងវាទៅបានល្អព្រោះតែចិត្តយើងឡើងកាយយើងសុខភាពយើងល្អហើយបើសិនតែចិត្តយើងធ្លាក់អាកាយយើងក៏វាធ្លាក់ទៅតាមនឹងដែរខាងពលចា៎
So to get through this quickly, we'll just share the slide and we can go back to it during the questions. And I saw a comment as well from Dara, about counselor resource. We'd be really happy to share our resources with you. We brought in counselors to train staff and support our staff and students directly. And so we have a volunteer that we specifically work with, who is a mental health counselor and trainer and coach in the US, who comes to Cambodia. So if you would like the training in that, we're really happy to ask her if she's willing to volunteer and support other organizations for providing that training as well. She plans to come back here this summer. So if that's something for your organization's interest, let us know and we can introduce you to her. We also believe in partnering with organizations, providing counseling resources. So within this group, Women's Resource Center, awesome resource for us and very open to supporting during the COVID pandemic, especially. We also discuss resources with TPO. Ultimately, for us, the services were very expensive. So that's up to you. We have the funding to resource in. And Bangwat also has a really great resource about Vipassana centers for supporting mental health and mental health practices.
ចាហ្នឹងហើយអញ្ចឹងនេះគឺជាដូច Kathryn គាត់ថាមិនអញ្ចឹងយើងមានអ្នកគ្រប់គ្រងទៅលើ counseling ហ្នឹងមានអ្នក volunteer ហើយគាត់ខ្ញុំអត់បានស្គាល់គាត់ទេប៉ុន្តែក្រុមការងារដូច Kathryn ដូចក្រុមការងារគាត់តែងតែនិយាយពីគាត់ហ្នឹងថាអូគាត់ធ្វើជាមនុស្សល្អគាត់មកក្រុមការងារយើងចេះច្រើនទៅលើ skill ក្នុងការ counseling ហ្នឹងហើយ support ទៅคนសិស្សអញ្ចឹងហើយសូម្បីបុគ្គលិកខ្លួនឯងក៏គាត់អាចជួយខ្លួនឯងបានច្រើនហើយនៅក្នុងនឹងដែរយើងមាន Women Resource Center អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាស្គាល់ហើយអាចទៅតំណែងគាត់មានកន្លែងមួយដើម្បីជួយនៅការប្រឹក្សាយោបល់ល្អខ្លាំងមែនតើហើយ TPO តាមបទពិសោធន៍ Peppy កន្លងមកសេវាកម្មគាត់យើងប្រើទៅវារៀងមានតម្លៃថ្លៃអញ្ចឹងណាចាហើយនេះជាបទពិសោធន៍របស់ខ្ញុំផ្ទាល់ខ្ញុំចាំបានកាលនៅពេលដែលខ្ញុំទៅវិបស្សនាកាលនោះខ្ញុំធ្វើការនៅ Peppy ក្នុងឆ្នាំ2010ហើយខ្ញុំ burn out ខ្លាំងមែនតើរហូតដល់មុខខ្ញុំលែងញញឹមហ្មងហើយខ្ញុំ lost ទាំងអស់ចាធ្វើការជួនកាលអាកិច្ចការ15នាទីតែខ្ញុំចំណាយពេលអត់2ម៉ោង3ម៉ោងពេលហ្នឹងខ្ញុំក៏បាន recommendation ពីមិត្តរួមការងារខ្ញុំក៏ទៅធ្វើវិបស្សនាហ្នឹងទៅអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំស្គាល់ហ្នឹងពីមិត្តរួមការងារនៅ Peppy គាត់ឈ្មោះ Kayla កាលហ្នឹងគាត់ប្រាប់តែខ្ញុំក៏ទៅចាអរគុណ
We have another chat. Oh, yes. So some exercises we use, some examples from our team that you can utilize. I guess we just share two because we need to, not a lot of time.
Yeah.
But so I used to do, take therapy for my anxiety. I can be honest, yeah, anxiety and depression. And there's some physical exercises that you can do when you're having a panic attack, when you're very nervous and scared. Or feeling too anxious, and that you can do that forces your heart to slow down. And I know that within our own NGO itself, even if you don't have anxiety or depression often, many people, we have situations where we feel a lot of stress and we want to calm ourselves down. So I think if there's time, maybe during the questions, I can show how to do this exercise. It's simple. You extend your, I don't think anyone can see. So you have your right hand facing backwards, and then you take your left hand and bring it over so your hands come together and hug each other. And then you pull your hands down and you put your hands on your heart. And my therapist taught me to do this when I was 6 years old, that when you hold it over your heart and you do deep breaths, 5 to 6 seconds, in and out 10 times, your heart actually slows down during a panic attack. And it's helped me in many situations, personally and professionally. And other exercises our team members use to maintain positive mental health is they have specific recommended YouTube videos that they listen to at work to help maintain positive energy during their break times. So we have an awesome song list from some of our Peppy team if you want any fun, positive music for the office. And now I'll just turn it over to Bongwan if you, in case anybody wants to ask, we can clarify that exercise again. But Bongwan has a closing practice for you to try.
Yeah. ដូច Kathryn គាត់និយាយមិញហ្នឹងតាក់ទងទៅនឹងបទពិសោធន៍របស់គាត់មួយដូចថានៅពេលណាដែលមានអារម្មណ៍ថាបេះដូងយើងហ្នឹងវាដើរអត់ស្រួលវាលោតញាប់អីចឹងគាត់បង្ហាញអ្នកនរគ្នាអាចសាកល្បងធ្វើចឹងបានដើម្បីដែលខ្ញុំចាប់បានខ្លាំងបំផុតតាក់ទងនឹងដង្ហើមដល់ទៅលើដង្ហើមហើយបើសិនជាខ្ញុំចាំបានពីបទពិសោធន៍របស់ខ្ញុំហ្មង ដោយសារខ្ញុំមានការអនុវត្តសមាធិហើយខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ទៅធ្វើវិបស្សនាចឹងភាគច្រើនខ្ញុំផ្ដោតទៅលើការដកដង្ហើមចេញដង្ហើមចូលvàoក្នុងភាសាហ្នឹងគេហៅថាបើនៅក្នុងភាសាបាលីគេហៅថាបាណាសតិអញ្ចឹងផ្ដោតទៅលើដង្ហើមចេញដង្ហើមចូលរបស់យើងណាឲ្យតែយើងដឹងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍មួយជារៀងរាល់ខែខ្ញុំមានបញ្ហាខ្លាំងមែនទែនឲ្យតែពេលចិត្តមករដូវខ្ញុំការឈឺចាប់របស់ខ្ញុំខ្លាំងមែនទែនគឺប្រហែលជា78ឆ្នាំហើយចង់ឲ្យតែពេលណាដែលចិត្តមករដូវ3ថ្ងៃមុនទៅ5ថ្ងៃមុនគឺរាងកាយខ្ញុំឈឺចាប់ពេញហ្នឹងហើយឈឺចាប់ទាំងអស់ទាំងក្នុងពោះវៀនពោះតាំងខ្ញុំដូចគេមួលច្បាច់បញ្ចូលគ្នាអញ្ចឹងរហូតដល់ខ្ញុំអត់ដឹងថាត្រូវធ្វើម៉េចទេខ្ញុំត្រូវទៅពេទ្យទៅចាក់ថ្នាំញ៉ាំថ្នាំខ្ញុំជួសរោមជួអីរហូតដល់ឥឡូវហ្នឹងគឺខ្ញុំត្រឡប់ទៅធ្វើការសមាធិឡើងវិញហើយខ្ញុំពេលដែលខ្ញុំចាំបាននៅបាត់ដំបងកាលពីប្រហែលខែមុនខ្ញុំម្នាក់ឯងហើយខ្ញុំអត់មានអីទាំងអស់និយាយទៅហើយព្រោះអត់ដឹងថាវាត្រូវមកពេលហ្នឹងថ្នាំក៏អត់យកទៅនៅម្នាក់ឯងនៅក្នុងបន្ទប់ខ្ញុំភ័យខ្លាចមែនតើប៉ុន្តែនៅពេលហ្នឹងអីដែលអាចជួយខ្ញុំបានគឺខ្ញុំគេងសមាធិខ្ញុំគេងផ្ដោតទៅលើដង្ហើមចេញដង្ហើមចូលហើយវាជួយធ្វើឲ្យខ្ញុំហ្នឹងកាត់បន្ថយការឈឺចាប់ខ្ញុំអត់ដឹងថាហេតុអីมันវាដំណើរការទេប៉ុន្តែនៅពេលដែលខ្ញុំធ្វើទៅវាពិតជាដំណើរការវាជួយខ្ញុំហើយតាំងពីពេលហ្នឹងមកឲ្យតែចិត្តដល់ពេលមករដូវអញ្ចឹងឥឡូវហ្នឹងខ្ញុំលែងទៅពេទ្យចាក់ថ្នាំហើយខ្ញុំចាប់ផ្ដើមផ្ដោតទៅលើដង្ហើមចេញដង្ហើមចូលហ្នឹងសមាធិអញ្ចឹងទៅហើយខ្ញុំលេបថ្នាំមុនពេលដែលខ្ញុំដឹងអញ្ចឹងវាជួយកាត់បន្ថយអានឹងខ្លាំងមែនតើហើយខ្ញុំឈប់មានការភ័យខ្លាចនៅពេលដែលអាកំឡុងពេលខ្ញុំមករដូវព្រោះតែពេលនៅមករដូវគឺខ្ញុំធ្វើអត់ការទេវាឈឺចាប់ខ្លាំងមែនតើអញ្ចឹងនេះឥឡូវនេះខ្ញុំបាត់ការភ័យខ្លាចនឹងហើយដូចជា 4-5 ខែហើយអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំរៀងមានអារម្មណ៍ថាធូរស្បើយច្រើនអានេះជាបទពិសោធន៍របស់ខ្ញុំពេលដែលខ្ញុំអត់តែចិត្តដល់មករដូវម្ដងគឺធ្វើឲ្យខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍អត់ល្អទេខ្ញុំធ្វើការងារអត់សូវនេះទេតាំងអារម្មណ៍ស្មារតីអីចាអានេះជាបទពិសោធន៍របស់ខ្ញុំហើយអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាចង់សាកល្បងអាចបិទភ្នែកដើម្បីផ្ដោតទៅលើដង្ហើមចេញដង្ហើមចូលអាច2នាទីបានដែរឬក៏អត់ទេចង់សាកល្បងអត់ឬក៏ចង់សួរសំណួរយកតែម្ដង
គួរតែសាកល្បងបងវត្តខ្ញុំចង់សាក
ចាទៅសាកល្បងហ៎អញ្ចឹងយើងអាចបិទភ្នែកទាំងអស់គ្នា So now she said we should try to close the eyes so maybe can take like 2 minutes and then focus on the breath like the breath in you also know and the breath out you also know focus on only on your breath but sometimes you know your mind will go fast like a monkey so sometimes if you feel your mind out you just realize and then you just focus again on your breath so it's okay don't blame on your mind or yourself okay make it yourself feel free and easy just rely on just focus on your breath okay so start So you can open your eye slowly and how did you feel when you try
I almost fall asleep.
very good so you will get energy right
Yeah, or I go back to sleep.
okay so everybody can share your experience if you would like to share or maybe you have any question you can question
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Well, thank you, Kathryn and Watt, for putting together a lot of research. I know that took you some effort to bring it all together and to bring it to the group. And you could see from the comments in the chat section that you hit an important topic, and that it's on many people's minds. And I think it's been a very valuable presentation. And I've got 2 screens full of people, so we can certainly spend a little time on questions and just observations, comments about this presentation. If someone wants to speak, they could raise their hand or use the raised hand signal, and I'll try to go back and forth between 2 screens full of people. I think 42 is the biggest group we've had yet. So Paul, it's a lot of people.
A big group.
Big group. Ty, did you have something you wanted to say or ask at this point?
Yeah, that was great presentation. So thank you so much, Kathryn and Bong Panyawat, for good presentation. I just have one question because when we have run workshop for our team as well here, but when I try to ask them about mental health issue, or if anyone have any problem or something, they can share with us so we can discuss or something. But our team, they said they have no problem or something. So with your experience with this, so how can you ask them, like they really understand they are having the mental health issue, or through your experience, how about your staff at Peppy? Do they have any mental health issue or something?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I think we both have direct experience with this that we can speak on. And so I can say that during my time at Peppy, when I first arrived, it would be the same experience as you mentioned. If you ask someone how they're doing, they're like, oh, fine, no problems, always happy. I eat rice today, all good. Can't get anything else out of anybody. I found that it was a lot of concerted effort, especially during COVID, to make a cultural change in our office, a practice of our leadership expressing the mental health challenges they're facing first. So instead of us going to officers and just saying, like, what are some challenges you're experiencing? We make it more conversational, but we're also opening the door to listen, where I would talk to, for example, my colleague who's communications officer, when we have our meetings and check-in, I say to her, here's something that's been a real challenge for me this past month. Here's something I'm dealing with. And I share if it's a physical challenge, a mental health challenge, or something, just a complaint about work. And then going to my officer, I'm like, oh, do you have anything you want to share that's similar? So we start off with 2 negatives and a positive, which is something we were discussing earlier today. So it kind of enforces the fact that's like, there has to be something. I know there's something that you're facing. And we find that some of the conversations can lead to the office, but when we're building those relationships, they can even talk about challenges they're facing at home that they feel is impacting their workday. But I think it really starts with leadership, is my lesson learned, that you have to be willing to put yourself out there and explain the challenges you have going on first, for them to be willing to open up to you.
Yeah. So like Kathryn already shared with Thai, and I think to me, this is the idea that I would like to share just for personal, that I feel when I joined with a Peppy team. Actually, I found that, and I also learned from the rest of the team, we are very open. And if we found that something wrong with me or with myself, so we always share with the rest, with someone that we feel we trust and we would like to share. And like me, I feel I trust all of the managers and also the rest of the board. And they always support me a lot. And as you know, when I first start with this position, I feel very shaken, and I feel very not confident to place my role. So my mentor is not so good. And when I would like to try to speak English, like, because when I stopped working for full time, like for 3 years, and I never speak English anymore. So that's why when I come first time, I need to speak in English. So make me feel not confident like before. So this also make me feel, oh, I lost some confidence. And then the team helped me a lot Even Kathryn, she tried to encourage me, okay, don't care about the grammar or something like that. And then after week and after month, so I gained a lot of confidence. Even Sarah, he is the previous executive director. He support me a lot. When I told him, oh, Sarah, I don't feel I can do this. And he said, oh, Mongwat, you believe in yourself, you can do it. So you feel like this, like that. So he support me a lot. And when I share with the rest of the board as well, like chair board, mostly I work closely with him. He always support my emotion a lot. So that's why I feel the mental health here, we free, we open to tell the people, okay, I have this issue happen and I need this support. And I hope that you can support and they willing to support me. Yeah.
One activity that I would recommend to get team members to start to share, it can be, I think you can change it if you want to fit to Cambodian culture better, but in English, it's called Roses, Thorns, and Buds. So it's a group activity that we used to do 2 years ago here to get people to start sharing that during our weekly meeting, everybody have to share one rose. So a rose is something that you feel went positively this week, something you're happy about. A thorn is something that negative that happened that you want to share to get support from the team. And a bud, which is a rose before it blooms, is something that you're looking forward to in the future. And so when we started doing that, it helped. It was actually difficult at first to people be like, thorn, like what's a thorn? I can't come up with anything. But then after 2 times, they're just like, oh, I have 5 thorns. And it encouraged people to start sharing some negative aspects about their work and their life that they wanted us to. All you do during Roses, Bud, and Thorns is you support whoever is speaking, no matter what they say. You don't try to contradict it in a negative way. When you hear the rose or bud and thorn, you give them their full support when they are sharing with you, and it helps them to share more in the future. It's a good introduction exercise.
Yeah, and also everybody, like for me as the ED, and then I always share with them that, okay, I come here, not your director, but I am your supporter. So feel free to talk to me and feel free if you need any support, I will be here to support you. One thing that I would like to share with them, I just come here to support all of you, but I'm not come here to solve your problem. And so that's why your problem you need to solve by yourself, but I will question you until you can find like what the solution that you would like to deal with that and fit with like we call appropriate with your situation. Yeah, so something like this that I share with the team as well. Yeah.
Well, Tai San, that was a great question, and the answers are very practical. Who else has something else they want to ask? I'm looking for hands up or hand signals on the screen. I don't see any yet. I'm back and forth. We can make it a little more open, and if somebody would like to ask a question, unmute yourself and ask. Well, it's very quiet.
Yeah.
Can I share some experience? One more related to puppy.
Okay.
Or what do you want to
We talk so much.
Because when I like silent like this, I just would like to take the opportunity to share. I remember in 2009, in 2010, I have a depression, but I did not say. But Daniela, the founder of the puppy, she looked at me and she feel that, oh, something wrong to me. So that's why she invited me to her room, and then she asked me the question, and then I can share with that. So this is that I would like to say with all of you that as the leader or as the team of the organization, we need to observe our team as well. And someone, if they don't feel they want to share or they feel not confident to share, but if we create the opportunity or make some the environment that they feel they want to share, then the situation will be better. Yeah, thank you.
We have a hand raised.
There it is. Santia, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. Guy, can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Oh,
We can't see you, but we hear you.
Thank you. Hello? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Bong Sathia.
Maybe he can't hear us.
I think
Uh-oh.
maybe the internet at his side.
Okay.
And
Well, we may be having a problem with internet there. Meanwhile, I see that Lita has her hand up. Lita, why don't you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, thank you. Thank Kathryn and sister for sharing a great lesson learned. For Cambo projects, actually we also practice the meditation every morning on Monday, because we think that after a weekend, we need to bring everyone back to work, and then the smooth motion will come back as well. But I'm thinking of before the meditation, shall we give them some space, like a second or 2 seconds to make themselves ready, or we just immediately ask them to close their eye and then start meditation immediately? That is the first question. And
I think to that, we ourselves are not mental health professionals, so I hesitate to say how it should be run. I think at the level we're at right now, I would mostly rely on feedback from your team on what makes them comfortable, what makes them feel good. So make sure to create space for them to share with you on how they would like the meditation sessions to be run, so that you're incorporating their feelings and readiness as well. Because we can't say this is the best way they need to manage their mental health. I think it's wouldn't be necessarily appropriate for us, because I'm no professional. I'm no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So another question. I just I don't know, my internet's lost or.
Oh, your internet is
still hear you.
fine. Go ahead with your next question,
No?
Lita.
Uh-oh.
Oh, now your internet is frozen.
Oh, no.
Oh, darn. We'll hope yours comes back here shortly. Meanwhile, Santia is back with a hand raised, and maybe that internet will work now. Santia, would you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
we're getting quite a bit of feedback, but try speaking again.
Can you hear me now?
That's perfectly.
Okay. Bill?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, I know we're talking about the mental health, also I think related to physical health. So it could cause to physical health as well. If I don't know, like this, like I meet a person and when she or he always thinking that they have a physical health, even though meeting a few doctors already saying that he or she doesn't have any physical health at all, but he or she keeps thinking that I'm using this because I don't want to know, I don't want everyone to know like it's either she or he. I'm sorry, he or she always thinking that they always have like physical health problems. How can we tell him or her that this is not, or like encourage him or her that this is not a physical but mental health and accept it?
So
Thank you.
yeah, I think someone's mental health journey is very personal. And for me, if I was in the same situation as you, what I would do is I would encourage all the team members to say, oh, we have this partnership for example, with Women's Resource Center, where they're offering, you know, a counseling session for free. So I would encourage all the team members to do the session with them. So that way it's something inclusive that your whole team is involved in. And just saying like, yeah, mental health day, same thing like at Peppy, we do dental days where all of our students go for their dental health checkup. And so I would encourage to do the same thing with a mental health checkup day. So be like, everybody sign up. But I don't think you can make it compulsory necessarily. But I do think that if you have everyone on your team kind of on board and there's buy-in to it, that then them going along with it. And then through those discussions, there'll be a potential solution. But I don't think from our side, not being professionals in that field, and also even a physical problem, it's not for us to diagnose somebody else or to tell them when they have an issue. But what we can do is encourage everyone to get support, because mental health, just like your physical needs, should be an annual checkup every year where you're talking and sharing with someone, because it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, but it's a checkup just to make sure you're doing okay. And if you implement that as a strategy with your team, through that, they would hopefully get the support that they need.
Excellent, excellent point. Again, wonderful questions. I just got a message from Lita that said she was back. There you are, Lita. You had a second question you wanted to ask?
Yes. The second question I would like to ask is about shall we consider like the mental health to start as confident in the small room, or can we counselor to the staff as a group? Which one is better that you can recommend?
Oh yeah, I mean, we do both. So I think it's good to offer both as an option. Just doing group sessions is positive, and for team building, it's a great practice to just say, you know, as a team, we're gonna discuss some of the challenges we're facing and see how we can come together. But I think also giving the option for individual sessions is really important, because you're gonna have team members who will not feel comfortable sharing in the group, or have different things that they want to talk about on an individual level. So I would say create space for both.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good. Odom, you had your hand up a bit earlier, but it's not up now.
Yes.
Did your question get answered, or do you have one?
Yeah, hello. I actually don't have a question, you know, but I just like to share what I think I come through and I solve my problem. First, you know, thank you to Kathryn and, you know, your assistant, your colleague. You know, actually I did recently, you know, personally with my problem, you know, I have like, you know, like depressions or stress, maybe because of, I mean, like family or, you know, like working. So, you know, a few days ago, you know, I cannot keep or holding or inside me. So I just went upstairs and find my help. And I share all story to Mr. Seta. So, you know, then here, you know, we come up with a, you know, like good, you know, suggestion or communication. You know, then, you know, I feel a lot better. You know, I think, oh, I feel released, and then I can do things, you know, like perfectly. You know, so I don't feel like, oh, you know, too heavy or, you know, like depressions anymore. So I suggest that, you know, of course, like Kathryn and with her presentation, I found that this is very important, you know, to just share, or like if you know anything you can do for, like, for example, exercise like you show, or, you know, find trust people just to talk and find help, support. You know, this will be I mean, like a great tip from the presentation, but I also would like to share what I did. You know, no question for me.
I would like to say, like, there's a lot of information thrown at us today, but I think if there's a key thing to remember to share and bring back with your team, and echoing what you said is, you know, all of us know logically that for our whole lives we cannot always be physically healthy. You know, there's points when we get sick. There's points when we need to go to the hospital. There's points when we need care. It's not possible to be a human being and not experience being physically ill. And I think we need to share that message that it is the same for your mental health. It's not possible to go through life and have perfect mental health because you're a human being. So just as much as you need checkup and support for your physical health, you need to consider and care for yourself about your mental health just as much.
Yeah, I do support Kathryn saying the last point about everyone as human have the problem, have the issue that we have to check out. So this is really important. It's the root cause of the problem that, you know, the eternal solution is we do exercise, we do meditation. It's just the eternal, but the best medicine to to avoid mental health issue is the ourselves, is through the internal, that we need to understand that everyone has problem and the world have problem. So this is the fact, this is nature as human. So when we accept the problem, we feel okay, we don't have any problem with mental health or something. I think this is the root cause and the key point. Thank you, Kathryn.
Yeah, Thai and Kathryn already raised for this point. In the psychology, we call that normalization technique. So this technique will help people a lot. Even me, when I feel something bad, like I feel, oh, this is normal. So everybody, not happen only me, everybody always happen to them as well. So this is we call normalization technique. It's very helpful and useful for us, and then we can use this.
Yes.
Well, Wat and Kathryn, thank you for an awesome presentation today. And I think you could tell from the questions and from the many comments in the chat room that this was very well received. You just were spot on with your presentation together, and we're very grateful for that.